everybody. Welcome to ArtStory, your local art show that we talk about artist stuff and everything that has to do with the arts, not just here, but around Windham County. So, we have an awesome guest today. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
Thank you for coming with us.
Thank you for having me.
And how are things going these days for you? I know you're a busy person.
Yeah, they're busy. It's exciting. We're gearing up for Voices of Community at Sandglass Theater.
Nice. So what is the Voices of Community exactly?
Voices of Community is a series that started on a show-to-show basis that has to do with Sandglass's collaboration with the National Performance Network. And it's a series based in social activist theater. And we've hosted many artists individually for this series. So this event kind of expounds on that, and it's a week-long event now. We have 3 guest main performance groups that are coming, as well as lots of workshops and community engagement events and fringe activities and all sorts of interviews with the artists, with local activists, a farm-to-table supper with the local co-op organizations, all sorts of stuff, all packed into 1 week. Wow. So it's the first time we're doing this. It's kind of a pilot event, but should be really exciting.
Nice. Now, you said that there's 3 main groups. Who are these 3 groups that are coming?
Carpet Bag Productions is coming with a show called Speed Killed My Cousin. And it's a piece about veterans, about moral injury. And they have a workshop that is affiliated with the show as well that they'll be doing. Also geared towards reintegrating veterans into the community. And then Heart of the Beast, Mask and Puppet Theater are coming, and they're known for their big pageant-style events. They do a big May Day event every year, and Sandy Spieler will do a talk about how one could do that in your own community. They'll be doing a mask workshop. They'll be doing a school show. They have a show about water, and that will be at Latches, Maine, so school groups can come, and we'll hopefully fill the house with a bunch of, we did it during the Puppet Festival, and it was so exciting to see so many young people watching puppet theater and community-engaged theater. So they will be here. They will also be doing just a mask building workshop for all families, anyone who public workshops who wants to come. And Anu Yadav is coming from Washington State, and she does a piece about housing equality, and she's also doing a workshop based in listening. All the workshops are geared towards the concept of story circles, which is it's a style of telling stories with a community and listening and hearing each other's stories, and kind of creating the space for all the voices of the community to be heard, and dialogue to engage, and hopefully out of all of that grows action towards the next steps, which is the kind of the scope of the entire event. Hopefully takes us as a community reaching into many different pockets and circles to hopefully get as much truth as possible out of where we live and who we are here.
Yeah, I think it's I find it interesting that you said that that they talk, like communities talk about maybe sometimes really tough issues and bringing, like, I don't know if you're familiar with this, but I remember seeing like this in India where they have these giant heads and puppets, and they would talk about problems that they had with one another, and they were angry, but they had this giant mask, so it was kind of diffuse. And I think that's interesting that's so. Why are you bringing, or I guess fusing, puppetry and activism together? What is the?
Yeah, I think at the heart of it, it belongs together because this is how we give voice to the voiceless. It's how we can see ourselves, or have like you were saying, enough distance from a situation to actually allow it in and to actually engage with it and sit and have your process, which may be different than the person next to you, and all of that has its space. So you're creating a very conscious space when you're creating a piece of theater in which there's possibility, infinite possibility, is my belief. So it's naturally belongs together, and the capacity to imagine, like we do in theater, is exactly the capacity we need to better a society, to be in our reality and yet imagine what could be better. And for that, we need to work the imagination and practice. It's a real muscle to exercise, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Now, you also mentioned that there's going to be some discussions. What kind of what are the panels or workshops that are happening?
So the entire event focuses on issues of food and shelter. And the discussions, we have kind of lunchtime interviews that are happening throughout the week with the guest artists, and each one is paired with a representative from an activist organization in the community. So Joshua Davis from Groundworks will be speaking with one of the artists, Don Spencer from Ruck Up, and Sheila Linton from The Root. So yeah, they'll all be putting in their piece, and there's, you know, there's an open environment for anyone to come if they have something to say and have space to do so. That's the whole idea. So the whole thing starts with a big Zydeco dance party, which is a great way to get, you know, if you get physically moving, it's easier to get speaking about things. It's kind of an icebreaker, you know. So the same night will be, there'll also be an open mic for slam poetry. And we have a special poet in residence who's coming, Dee Collin. She'll be leading poetry workshops in the community throughout the week, but she'll also bring some of her own work to the stage. Carlton Turner, who has been here before, twice now, for the Voices of Community series that we present. And he's worked with the high school. He's doing the keynote speech for the whole event, which is about reintegrating art with culture. And so, let's see, what was the question you asked me?
Like, what were the panels? Or like the different panels, I guess, that they had.
So then there'll be a collection of all these voices. Oh, Carlton will be, of course, throwing down a little something during the Zydeco dance party. And then there'll be panel discussions with all the artists to talk about where exactly this question, where does art and action and these specific issues we face in our community or in their own communities of social justice around food and shelter, where does it all intersect? And Shanta Lee will be facilitating a big moderated discussion with all of them. There'll be a big brunch in which, for a more informal chance for audience members to talk with the artists or each other or any other participants.
That's cool. That's really cool. I like the idea of making it a fun event, even though we're gonna talk about this kind of rough things. So like make it a fun, interactive event for people.
Yeah. It's a community. That's something to celebrate, right?
So I guess for you, what other issues you would like that maybe are not going to be talked on this thing, on this one? Because I'm sure there's so many different things. Is there anything that you, in this community here, that you would like to talk about?
That
like,
I want to talk about?
Yeah, like something that is affecting
work?
the community. Yeah, like a topic that you kind of, or like in the future you would like to tackle that.
Yeah, I'm really interested in youth. What to call it? I need to think about this for a second. I'm really interested in the way, in how to facilitate.
Sorry, while you're thinking,
Yeah.
I just have one little mic thing.
Oh,
that
good.
Just started, so maybe
That
you
suits
could
me just fine. Let me think
ponder
for a
on
second.
that for just a second, and I'm gonna just see. Just mic. So I might just try. I don't know, just come out of there and make you really switch mics here. Let's see what happens.
That's cool. Serendipitous pause.
Yeah, thanks. I'm just thinking about this the other day.
All of a sudden it
That's great. I love that we can just stop and think about things sometimes. It's helpful.
Me too.
Let's see if I can hear it working in there. Yes, straight up there. All right.
1, 2,
Of course,
3,
when I
4.
distracted you the whole time, instead of maybe you trying to think about that. I don't know why this has started flickering. I'm just gonna turn it off. Okay. All right. So yeah, you could just. Esther, I'll put it back on you. You can ask that question again.
Okay, I just think it's funny now that
You
as you're
can be
talking,
my
I can be
hands.
your hands. Oh. All right. So, what kind of things in Brattleboro you would like to? What is a topic that you would like to maybe tackle one day in this activism form with arts?
Well, our last puppet festival focused around issues of humanization and immigration and reaching across borders and really pressing against what the idea is of the other. And that was a really exciting thing to get into and something I feel like we only just started to touch into. So there's a lot in there. Of course, now we're working with rights in arts and shelter, food and shelter in our community, which I think is a very, also way beyond this little thing we're doing here. It reaches out into a lot more conversation. I'm also really interested in youth, work with youth and youth initiatives and youth projects where they're putting on the work. So facilitating kind of a way that they have a lot to say and a lot of really amazing, intelligent things to say. And the youth around here have so many resources in terms of artistic coaches and mentors. And I'd love to bridge those worlds for the youth as well, that they're understanding the creative work they're doing in the context of the world and to let them have a kind of a facility for exploring that and speaking their truths, especially with the amount of drug issues going on in Brattleboro right now. I think to expose and to speak about all of that publicly, so it's not secretive, it's not behind doors, it's not that part of the neighborhood or not in this part of the neighborhood or anything, that it's all brought out where people can see and talk about it and then move forward.
Yeah, I agree. This town has so many resources for kids. It's almost I think we're very lucky to have those resources for the kids and tackle that. So if people want to get more information about this, where can they go and find out?
Well, right here is the Voices of Community website, voicesofcommunity.org, or you'll find it by going to the Sandglass Theater website, sandglasstheater.org.
Or I can just pull out of my mouth. So you can just go to that website.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
You can do that.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's the power of that.
The magic of television.
Yeah. And not only that, but I can change like colors of everything. So now like, we're green now.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy? What color do you like?
Orange. Perfect.
All right, let's go back to normal. All right, so yeah, this is the website?
Yeah, so here you can read all about what the whole event looks like. You can look at the history of our theater and the history of this series in our theater. And then under events, you'll see there's the kind of workshop events, there's performances, there's community engagement events. There's a lot to go through and just check it all out. And then, of course, you can buy your tickets here, which is
nice.
A great thing.
Oh, here's the whole calendar of things.
Yeah.
This is for November.
There's the first day.
The first day.
The 13th.
And then we go to the next week.
Yeah.
This is pretty cool. Who made this website?
Barb Ackerman designed this.
Whoa, look at that.
Aurora Corsano filled in every detail. There's so much here.
Yeah.
It's a little overwhelming. Don't get too overwhelmed. Just take your time.
It's a lot.
It's color-coded.
It's a lot for everybody, pretty much.
Yeah,
and all
there
ages,
really
correct?
is something for everyone. There's a few workshops that are happening in schools, in the local community. There's youth events. There's very much adult events. There's activist events. There's artist events. There's food events.
Nice.
There's everything.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And so you said you're getting ready for another show?
Yeah, right now Sandglass is working on its new show, Babylon, which is a piece about refugees. And we're in intensive rehearsals for that right now with a director from El Salvador and Eric Bass, who are collaborating on the direction, and a cast of 5.
Nice.
And the puppets are made, and the songs are composed. Beautiful music
Cool.
composed by Brendan Taft, and it's very exciting. It's
And
a little overwhelming.
And you're gonna go all around. I think it was like a bunch of places with this show, right?
We have a few commissions
Yeah.
already. Yeah, and then hopefully it'll
More.
have a good lifespan.
I have a thing that I wanted to ask you. I would like to ask you, what kind of questions would you like to ask Brattleboro, talking about kind of these things?
Oh, that's a great question. I think what was very interesting about setting this up, it was realizing that there's only so much we can do, and we can only come at it through the lens we know and the tools we have. But there's so many tools and resources around here. I just imagine what it would look like for every organization or business in this town to think, what is our way we can do something? What is our way we can help? You know, like haircuts for the homeless, or whatever it is, one night of a free meal, or facilitating a discussion among certain groups, or whatever it is. I think that one of these things we're trying to bring with this festival is this how to facilitate these discussions, how to use the artistic practice as a means to hold all these discussions in a safe way. And really training people in that practice and how to facilitate it. So I guess my question would be, how would you envision it in what you do, right? You
Cool.
have a certain skill set with what you do, and you put it to use.
Well, thank you so much for coming to the show. It's
my
been
pleasure.
great. So the website is voicesofcommunity.org. Again, this is right here. And what else do you want to say about this event?
I just want to say, what do I want to say? This event is a collaboration between Next Stage and Sandglass. And there's many sponsors and supporters, and I would like to mention them all. They're all on the website as well.
Maybe we can put them in.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Where
Who are the sponsors? You know, a lot of people don't think about this, but yeah, all of the event.
Go to support.
Oh,
Oh.
there we go.
Or maybe it's at the bottom of this page. Scroll down.
Let's see if it's on this. Down. Oh, it is in the bottom. Maybe we can
Yeah.
zoom in. Nope. Nope, maybe we can just put support. All right, let's redo this over here. Support. And we have, nope.
Yeah.
Well, let's do
Just
that again.
on
Let's
the
go to the
front
home.
page.
Yeah, let's go to home again. All right, so maybe we should make this, kind of see it there. So we have the artwork, right, so sponsors for this event.
Do you want me
National,
to-
we can take
Yeah,
chance,
take something.
yeah.
Okay.
So Fresh Sound Foundation, and board.
The Bay and Paul Foundation.
Next Stage Theater,
Artworks.
Arts Place,
Yeah. The National Endowment for the Arts.
the Bay and Paul Foundation. Did I say
I
that
said
already?
that
Okay,
one
never
already. You
mind.
took mine.
Oh, sorry. What is NEFA?
NEFA, that's the
NEFA.
New England Foundation for the Arts.
NEFA. Wow, that sounds cool. And what is this one on the bottom right here? The blue one.
That's Landmark College.
Ooh,
And Chroma is right next to that.
nice.
Arts Place, did we mention Arts Place?
Nice.
National Performance Network.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of awesome sponsors for the show. So if you want to get to know what's going on in your community, what kind of issues are happening, and you want to make it kind of fun, you should definitely come to this event. And it's happening the 13th to the 20th. Again, go to voices.org.
Of community.org.
So thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thanks, Esler.
Keep it real, Brattleboro. Keep it real.